Does the law care whether the former president's demands were, quote, aspirational?
I think that that is not a term that will come into the legal considerations here. What folks will look at if this case goes to a jury on charges related to this situation is what was going on here. Was this a legitimate request, or was this someone asking for help from a state official in stealing an election? And the facts are so compelling. The ask is for just one more vote than's needed to overcome Trump's loss in the state. And there's this entire back and forth where he's alternately threatening and encouraging the Secretary of State to help him out. You know, if you don't do this, you could be committing a crime. Come on, just help me out here. You know, I only need votes. This plays awfully well for a jury if you're the prosecution. I think from the moment that we all heard this audio tape, we knew that this was criminal conduct.
Right, and we have heard it so many times since. Greg, the Fulton County Sheriff says his office has spent months preparing for a Trump indictment. I want you to take a listen, and then we'll talk on the other side.
We were very proactive. We had an opportunity to watch and send teams, Major Butler and his team, to New York. Had an opportunity to send them to Miami. And what we learned in Miami is that we need to have a secure perimeter. That's just the beginning of the program.
Greg, what more can you tell us about the security protocols in place and, if you can, the timeline for charges here?
Yeah, well, security barricades are up in front of the courthouse. Roads are closed. Many staffers are already working from home virtually. And so they're already taking precautions. Judges and other courthouse officials have been told months ago that this could be coming within the window that began a few days ago through the end of this month. And we're still, we're on deck. We are still looking for these charges within the next 2 weeks, likely in mid-August.
Greg, you were at a rally for Georgia Democrats yesterday as someone who literally wrote the book on how Georgia has moved toward being purple. Your sense of why Georgia Democrats haven't been taking aim at Trump?
You know, they're seeing what President Joe Biden is doing and what other national Democrats are doing. You're not hearing a lot of Democratic candidates or politicians speaking at length extensively about these indictments, these legal problems. First, they don't want to play into the Republicans' hand of accusing Democrats of somehow collaborating with the Justice Department and politicizing these prosecutions. But secondly, they're focused on issues, healthcare, education, the economy. You know, the issues that we saw in the last election really dominated the voters' moods, the voters' narratives, abortion, gun rights. You know, the issues that really motivate particularly liberal voters here in Georgia, they're already focusing on right now with an eye towards 2024.
Right, Joyce, DA Fani Willis has subpoenaed a journalist who walked in on the Georgia fake electors, and here's how he ended up as a witness. Take a listen.
I recognized one of the Republican electors, one of the people who would have been an elector. And he went into a room in the Capitol, and I thought that was curious. So I followed him in with my camera going, and lo and behold, I entered the room where it was happening. The Republican so-called electors were having their meeting right then. And they pretty quickly threw me out of the room. But before they did, I asked what they were doing. They said it was an education meeting.
An education meeting. Joyce, your sense of how that testimony might fit into the Fulton County case?
Well, here are my two favorite parts of that exchange. One is the notion that his cameras were on, that there is videotape of this meeting. And then the second, and perhaps more to the point of your question, important part of this exchange is what he's told by the people who are meeting, that it's an education meeting. And of course, we know now that that's not true, that this was a meeting of a fake slate of electors. Well, why would you lie about it if there was nothing going on that was inappropriate? So this is part of a package of evidence that Fani Willis will put together to talk about the conduct that goes on around this incident.